then it won't ring.
Right. The drought situation.
Seriously?
Okay, so still having a little bit of problems going live on Facebook for some reason. So we are live on YouTube tonight, and I have shared it to my Facebook page, and we can share it to the temple page also. So we are live. It's just we're not live on Facebook as such. So Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Thank you for joining us this evening. And hopefully we will be cooler wherever we are than it is outside where it is super warm. I'm hoping that everyone now has power and internet. And if you do not and you're using your cell phone to participate in services tonight, I hope that you get power and internet back soon. So with all of that, we actually have Sam and Tara broadcasting from Sam's house tonight because the temple doesn't have proper power and internet. But we will make do. And so at this point, I'm going to mute everybody and then unmute Sam so that we can get ready for our services here. So here we go. And now let's see where Sam is. There's Sam. Okay, so Sam, you're going to have to unmute again. Whoops.
There we go.
Okay, there you go. We are good to go. Okay. So with that, we will begin our service with Hine Ma Tov.
Hine ma tov manayim, sheret achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov manayim, sheret achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov, sheret achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov, sheret achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov manayim, sheret achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov manayim, sheret achim gam yachad.
And now we'll continue with the lighting of the Shabbat candles on pages 2 and 3.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we by our lives give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we in our own day be among those who kindle light. I'm trying to get it. Okay. Okay, here we go. I'm dripping. Sorry, I'm dripping wax.
20-year-old dishcloth.
Let's do it this way. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, tetzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Okay, now we are on page 9, the top of the page. There are days when we seek things for ourselves and measure failure by what we do not gain. On Shabbat, we seek not to acquire, but to share. There are days when we exploit nature as if it were a horn of plenty that can never be exhausted. On Shabbat, we stand and wonder before the mystery of creation. There are days when we act as if we cared nothing for the rights of others. On Shabbat, we remember that justice is our duty and a better world our goal. So we embrace Shabbat, a day of rest, day of wonder, day of peace. And now we will continue welcoming the ministering angels of Shabbat into our midst, bringing us peace and happiness with Shalom Aleichem on page 24.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Oahem Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Arkuni Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzedkem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
And now we continue on page 26 with Reader's Kaddish. Please rise.
Yitkado v'yitkadash shemei Rabba, ve'amad yivarach yiruteh ve'yamlich malhuteh, v'chayechon uv'yomechon, uv'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, bagala, bagala, uv'izman kariv, ve'imru amen, yehei shmei Rabba mevarach, Le'olam olam me'amaya, yitbarach, yitbarach, ve'yishtabach, ve'yitpa'ar, ve'yitramam, ve'yitnaseh, ve'yitadar, ve'yitaleh, ve'yitalal, shemei d'kudesha b'richu, le'elam min kol b'chata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nehemata, da'amiran b'alma, ve'imru amen. La 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 la. La 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 la. La
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bidvaro mariv aravim v'chochma potea sha'arim v'vitvuna meshana itim u'machalif et hazmani umsader et hakochavim v'mishmer otachem berakia kirtzono Berei yom v'layla golei alor mipnei choshech v'choshech mipnei or umavir yom umevi laila Umavdil bein yom uvein laila Adonai tzevaot shemo El hai v'kayam tamid yimloch aleinu leolam va'ed Baruch atah Adonai hamariv aravim. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tzevaot is your name. Ever-living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on evening. Baruch atah Adonai hamariv aravi. Now we'll continue on page 32 with Ahavat Olam.
Ahavat olam bet Yisrael amcha Torah mitzvot chukim u'mishpatim otanu limad itam Aken Adonai Eloheinu B'shachbeinu v'kumeinu Nasiach b'chukecha V'nismach l'divrei Toratecha U'v'mitzvotecha Le'olam ha'ed Ki hem chayenu Ve'orech yameinu Uvahem negeh yomam v'layla.
And now on 34 and 35, Shema. Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Leolam You may be seated. We continue on page 36 with Ve'ahavta. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol meodecha dehayu advarim ha'ele asher anochi metzabecha kayom alevavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'beitecha u'lechtecha b'derech u'shochbecha u'kumecha u'kshartam le'ot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha u'ktavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha leman tizkeru vasitem ekol mitzvotai vitem kedoshim leloechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim Hiot lachem lelohim, ani Adonai Elohechem. You shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your might. Take to heart these instructions with which I charge you this day. Impress them upon your children. Recite them when you stay at home and when you are away, when you lie down and when you get up. Bind them as a sign on your hand, and let them serve as a symbol on your forehead. Inscribe them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. Thus you shall remember to observe all my commandments and to be holy to your God. I am Adonai your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I am Adonai your God. And now we'll continue on page 40 with Micha Mocha. We're now on page 42. Ashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom. Grant, O God, that we lie down in peace, and raise us up our guardian to life renewed. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Guide us with your good counsel. For your name's sake, be our help. Shield and shelter us beneath the shadow of your wings. Defend us against enemies, illness, war, famine, and sorrow. Distance us from wrongdoing. For you, God, watch over and deliver us. For you, God, are gracious and merciful. Guard our going and our coming to life and to peace forevermore. Blessed are you, Adonai, guardian of Israel, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel, and over Jerusalem. Baruch atah Adonai haporei sukat shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim. And we now continue welcoming Shabbat with Vishamru on page 44.
Vishamru Tanei Israel et HaShabbat Lasot et HaShabbat Medorot HaMeriton Beini uvein bnei Yisrael Beini uvein bnei Yisrael Beini uvein bnei Yisrael Oti le'olam Yom midim mamai Shabbat Shabbat Yom midim mamai Shabbat Shabbat Yom midim mamai Shabbat 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 Sheshet Yamim Asa Adonai et HaShamayim ve'et ha'aretz u'bayom hashvi'i Shabbat vayim hafash Yom midim mamai Shabbat Shabbat Yom midim mamai Shabbat Shabbat Yom midim mamai Shabbat 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 Yom midim mamai Shabbat Shabbat Yom midim mamai Shabbat Shabbat Yom midim mamai Shabbat 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 Shabbat
We are a people in whom the past endures, in whom the present is inconceivable without moments gone by. The Exodus lasted but a moment enduring forever. What happened once upon a time happens all the time. Please rise for tefillah on page 46.
Adonai Safatai Tiftach Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise.
Okay. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzhak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah Ha'el Agadol Agibor V'Norah El Elyon, Gomel Asadim Tovim, Vekonei Hakol, Vezocher Aste Avot Bima'ot, Umevigu la livnei v'nechem, Leman shemo be'achava, Melech ozer u'moshia u'magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Vezrat Sarah, Atah gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayeh kol atah rab lehoshia, Mechakel ayim behesed, Mechayeh kol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim berofei holim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato, Lishenei apar, Micha mocha bal gevurot, Umido melach, Melech memit umechayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman atah l'chayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, U'kadoshim b'chol yom yahalu chasela, Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. You may be seated. And we continue at the top of page 55. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day, and may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat. And now at the bottom of page 57. You are with us in our prayer, our love, and our doubt, in our longing to feel your presence and do your will. You are the still, clear voice within us. Therefore, O God, when doubt troubles us, when anxiety makes us tremble, when pain clouds the mind, we look inward for the answer to our prayers. There may we find you, and there find courage, insight, and endurance. And let our worship bring us closer to one another, that all Israel and all who seek you may find new strength for your service. Baruch atah Adonai she'otecha levadecha v'yirah na'avod. And now at the top of page 59. God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of soul, our light within, for the world around us so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth which day by day sustains us. For all these and more we offer thanks. Baruch atah Adonai hatov shimcha ulecha na'eh v'chodot. And now we continue on page 60 with Shalom Ra.
Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech Adon lechol Shalom. Ki atahu melech Adon lechol Shalom. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov enecha l'orech Shalom Rav Yisrael Omcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Omcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam.
At this point in our service, we pause to think of all those among our family and friends who are ill or in need of healing. We continue to pray for our country and our world combating the coronavirus, but particularly all of those in our community who are battling the coronavirus and those who are taking care of those who are ill, those who are in our healthcare, who are doing healthcare work, our frontline workers. We're thinking of all of their health and all of those who are keeping us happy, all of those who are now repairing the damage from the storm that hit Iowa this week, that knocked out our power and our internet. And we are thinking of all of those workers and all of the people right now who don't have internet and power. We hope that they are maintaining their health and their sanity as they have to deal with all of that as well. And I'd like to ask if people who would like to mention, names of those they're thinking about this evening, you can write them in the text, in the chat on Zoom. I'm not sure if there's a way to do it on YouTube or not, but you can definitely do it on Zoom. And I know we continue to think of Ben Swartz, and we will check on others. Are there other names we should mention? I have a whole list here. So, okay. So we have in our chat, Ben Swartz, Kay Braverman, Lou Fingerman, Rebecca Schaefer, Albert Brewer and Zachary Brewer, Hava Frank, Jenny and Neneth Vista, Jeanette Wayne, Nora Vista, Kevin Howe, Mary Staus, Connie Frank, Kathy Moretz, and Mary Elizabeth Musser, RBG, Gary Greenblatt, and Robin Skolnick. Okay, as we think of all of them, we will sing Mi Shabera.
Mi Shabera Avotenu Makor Abraham Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mi Shabera Imotenu Makor Abraham Laotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
We now pause for a few moments of personal prayer and silent meditation.
zur May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable before you, my rock and my redeemer. Hear you, the Ratson Imrefi, the Helion, Libi Lefanecha. Hear you, the Ratson Imrefi, the Helion, Libi Lefanecha.
Okay, and this evening we have a special event. We are moving forward with a conversion, which we were kind of holding off because of COVID and hoping that some point we'd be able to be in the sanctuary. We're still going to do some of the ceremony in the sanctuary when we're able to do that, but we're going to continue with other parts of the conversion ceremony. And we already did the mikvah. We have a congregant who had a pond and let us use the pond for the mikvah. So that worked out well. So at this point, I will call up Jeremiah Jepson. We'll pretend we have a bima here. And Jeremiah, I'm going to unmute you, and then in a moment I'll watch them asking to unmute you. There you go. Okay, and in a moment I will spotlight your video, but I will begin. At this sacred and joyous moment, we renew the covenant at Sinai between God and the people of Israel, recalling the words of the prophet Isaiah. Strangers shall join them and shall cleave to the house of Israel. O God, we thank you for your many blessings. We thank you for the truth you have revealed to all humanity. Above all, we thank you for the gift of Torah, which has ever been a light for our path. We recall with reverence and gratitude all those descendants of Abraham and Sarah who have been faithful to you, and those who of their own choice have sought to serve you through the faith and people of Israel. O God, grant your loving favor to Jeremiah as in this holy place, our sacred online synagogue. We welcome him into Jewish life. Knowing well the history of our martyrdom in years past, Jeremiah has chosen to join himself to our people's faith. We open our hearts to him, strengthen him in his resolve. Help him to live in fidelity to the decision he has made and to the promise he is about to utter. May he always find satisfaction and joy in the fulfillment of your sacred mitzvot. Grant him many years of strength and happiness as a worthy member of our congregation. We praise you, O God, in whose presence is the fullness of joy. Amen. Okay, now Jeremiah, I'm going to spotlight your video here. And I'm going to ask you some questions. Okay, there you are. Okay, so do you choose to enter the eternal covenant between God and the people Israel and to become a Jew of your own free will?
I do.
Do you accept Judaism to the exclusion of all other religious faiths and practices?
I do.
Do you pledge your loyalty to Judaism and to the Jewish people under all circumstances?
I do.
Do you promise to establish a Jewish home and to participate actively in the life of the synagogue and of the Jewish community?
I do.
You commit yourself to the pursuit of Torah and Jewish knowledge?
I do.
And if you should be blessed with children, do you promise to raise them as Jews?
I do.
Okay. Now, I wish you were able to stay in our community instead of being in Omaha, but we will provide a wonderful Jewish family to Omaha temporarily, and then hope you'll come back to Des Moines to join us. Okay, so you have that sheet, the text that I gave you?
Yep.
Okay, can you go ahead and read those?
Okay. And Ruth said, entreat me not to leave you, or to return from following after you. But wherever you go, I will go, and where you lodge, I will lodge. Your people shall be my people, and your God, my God. I am a Jew because the faith of Israel demands no abdication of the mind. I am a Jew because the faith of Israel requires all the devotion of my heart. I am a Jew because every place where there is suffering, the Jew weeps. I am a Jew because in every age, when the cry of despair is heard, the Jew hopes. I am a Jew because the message of Israel is the oldest and newest. I am a Jew because Israel's promise is a universal promise. I am a Jew because for Israel, the world is not finished. We must yet complete it. I am a Jew because Israel places us and the unity of humankind above nations and above Israel itself. I am a Jew because above human beings, the image of the divine unity, Israel places the unity which is divine.
Okay. Now, Jeremiah, normally we would have you at this point come before the open ark and hold the Torah and say the Shema and Ve'ahavta, and we're still going to do that at some point in the not too distant future. We're just not going to do it tonight. But tonight, I'm going to give you your Hebrew name. So you are known by the name Jeremiah, which means that you are always linked in love to those who gave you life. And from this time forward, you're also going to be known within the Jewish community as Yirmiyahu, which is the Hebrew version of Jeremiah. Ben Avraham V'Sarah. May this name bring respect to you and honor to the Jewish people. We rejoice to welcome into our midst one who willingly and devotedly helps replenish the ranks of our people. And I'm looking forward to being able to not only bless you when you come before the open ark to do the Shema and Ve'ahavta, but also to bless you at your wedding, which hopefully will be somewhere around the same time. We will be excited to have the rest of your family with us then. Everybody join together and be able to bestow the priestly benediction upon you and say Shehecheyanu in person. But those I am going to do tonight. So I'm going to bless you with Shehecheyanu now, and I'm going to actually go to the grid here so everybody can join with me in blessing you, even though you're all going to be muted. You can still hold up your hands and we'll all bless Jeremiah here and welcome him with Shehecheyanu. Yivarecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you and keep you. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'hunecha. May God shine God's countenance upon you and be gracious unto you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God lift up God's countenance upon you and grant you peace. And let us say, Amen. And now we'll sing Shehecheyanu, thanking God for bringing us to this joyous time. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, Shehecheyanu v'kiyamanu, v'higianu lazman hazeh. Mazel tov.
Thank you.
Okay, and I will send you your certificate and all of that as soon as I can. So with that, we will go back to Spotlight Video here. Okay. So just a couple of announcements before I forget. So sometimes Facebook Live doesn't work for whatever reason. And to just point out, not only tonight, but it could be other times that this will happen. We can broadcast on YouTube Live, and that's what I'm doing. So there will be a recorded service you can find online. You can actually watch it online, but I guess YouTube doesn't have a chat room. So it's a little different. But the service is available if you need to, and you can find it that way. And that may be true tomorrow morning. I'm going to try to see what's going on with Facebook and see if I can fix it. I don't know exactly what's going on, but we'll try to figure it out. So tomorrow morning at 9 a.m., we have Torah study, our weekly Torah study, where we go and talk about the Torah portion of the week. At 10 a.m., we have our Shabbat morning services. And they're brief services because we don't do a full Torah service. We will have just studied the Torah portion for an hour. So services go about 35 minutes or so from 10 to about 10:35. And we'll hope you will join us for that. With that, we will continue with Aleinu on page 282. Please rise. Aleinu leshabeach ladon hakol, latet gedula leotzer breishi, shehu notesh shamayim ve'yosed haaretz, u'moshav yikaro b'shamayim mima'al, u'shkinat uzo b'govei meromim, hu Eloheinu enod. V'nachnu korim u'mishtachavim u'modim lefnei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu v'ne'emar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz Vayom hahu, Yeh Adonai echad, Ushemo echad. Our thoughts now turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. Tonight, we mark the yahrzeits of Mary Abrams, Archie Arkin, Constance Arkin, Elaine Bailey, Abraham Blank, A.H. Blank, Dorothy Block, Elaine Brown, Ruth DeGraff, Elizabeth Aliber Gordon, Stuart Gottstein, Arnold Levine, Nell Levitt, Ida Loeb, David Mincer, Sandra Nagelberg, Pauline Neufeld, Marvin Pomerantz, Paul Rappaport, Kate Rafferty, Richard Rosen, Mary Rubin, Sam Schlaze, Donald Schrago, Helen Sklar, Marie Swarzman, Dr. Berthold Weiss, and Bernice Wolf. We mark the recent passings of Rodney Skolnick, Bruce Donald Buchanan, Pearl Sachs Saltzman, and Jeff Jacobson. Are there other names we should mention for Kaddish this week? You can type them into the chat. Okay. As we think of all of them, we'll recite Mourner's Kaddish together, page 294. Yit Gadal v'yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah, ve'alma divra hirutei v'amlich malchutei, v'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'hayed kol Beit Yisrael, b'gala bizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam v'l'olmei almaya, yit barach v'yishtabach v'yit pa'ar v'yit roman v'yit naseh, v'yit hadar, v'yit aleh, v'yit halal, shemei de kudisha b'richu. Le'ela min kol berchata b'shirata, tushvakata v'nechamata, gam iran v'alma v'imru amen. Yehesh Lama Rabba Min Shemaya V'chaim Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael V'imru Amen. Osei Shalom Bimromav Hu Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael V'imru Amen. May the source of peace and peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved, and let us say Amen.
Osei Shalom Bimromav Hu Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael Imru Amen. Ya'aseh Shalom Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael 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 Ya'aseh Shalom Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael.
And now we'll do our blessing of everyone else. If you'd like to bless your children, you can find your children, and then we'll do the priestly benediction. Yivarecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you and keep you.
Yes.
Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'hunecha. May God shine God's countenance upon you and be gracious unto you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God lift up God's countenance upon you and grant you peace. And let us say, Amen. Okay, and now we will continue with Kiddush. Okay, Tara.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodesho be'ahava uvratzon yinhilanu zikaron lema'aseh bereshit ki hu yom tehila lemikra kodesh Zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim Kivanu v'acharta V'otanu kidashta Mikol ha'amim V'shabbat kodecha Ve'ahava uvratzon Hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat. Amen. L'chaim.
Now the motzi.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam amotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom. And now I'm going to allow everybody to unmute themselves here. Okay, you're muted, but you can unmute yourself.
Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Shabbat shalom, everybody. Mazel tov.
Shabbat shalom. Have a great week.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Okay.
Congratulations, Carolina.
Thank you.
Bye.
Jeremiah.
Congratulations.
Everybody, and thank you to
Jeremiah.
Tara and Sam for the beautiful music this
Here we
evening.
go.
Yes, and thank you, Rabbi, for everything, always.
You're welcome.
Congratulations, Jeremiah.
Thank you.
Mazel tov.
Good week, folks. Stay safe.
Yes, absolutely. Thanks, Bill.
Everybody stay safe and stay healthy.
Good night.
Bye-bye, Teddy.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Teddy's family. Bye, Rabbi. Bye, Rabbi's
Bye,
family.
everybody.
Hi,
Good
Rabbi.
night, Rabbi. Good night, everyone.
Good Sunday, Wendy.
Stay safe and have a nice remainder of Shabbat.
Shabbat
Okay.
shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Night, John boy.